Hello everyone. Today this is my third lecture on network theory, and today's topic is the basic laws. Now in this topic you will learn how to solve electrical circuit which is linear bilateral, and we can say this is passive also. So going to next slide. The knowledge of basic concepts that we have discussed in last two lectures itself is not enough to meet the objective of executing circuit analysis. Now, to investigate circuit variables like voltage, current, or power requires deep understanding of fundamental laws that govern the electrical circuits. Now, basic laws like the Ohm's law, Kirchhoff's law form the foundation upon which electric circuit analysis is built. So additionally, the familiarity with techniques commonly applied in circuit design and analysis is also essential to perform circuit analysis. Okay. Now, such techniques include combining of resistors, inductors, and capacitors, and to find out their equivalent resistance when it is connected in series or in parallel. Then we have to learn about how to find out voltage division, current division. These are the rules available: voltage division rule, VDR, current division rule, CDR. So we can analyze the circuit. Now, to begin with these laws, the techniques are applied to resistive circuits only in this lecture, and we will later expand it to other circuit elements like inductor and capacitors. And in other subject like analog electronics, we will analyze the circuit using transistors, MOSFET, diodes. Okay. So now the first point is resistance and resistivity. So materials in general have the characteristic behavior of resisting the flow of electric charge or current. This property is known as this property or ability of material to resist current or to oppose the flow of current is known as resistance, and it is represented by the symbol capital R. Now resistance of any material depends directly on its length and indirectly on its cross-sectional area. Okay, so here this is the resistance material having cross-section area of A and length L, and this is the resistance. Current is flowing downwards, so here it is plus, and at top it is plus and bottom it is minus. Current always flows from positive to negative. Okay, that you have to remember forever. Now we can represent resistance of any material in mathematical form as R equal to rho into L by A, where this rho is known as resistivity of the material. Now what should be the unit of rho? Now rho will be what? R into A by L. Okay. A is in meters square, L is meter, so that will be meter only, and R is resistance unit is ohm, so that will be ohm meters. Okay. Now good conductors, gold and copper have low resistivity value, while insulators like mica, paper, Teflon have high resistivity value. Now let us take some example of the resistivity value of some material. Okay. Now silver, you can see this value is very small, 10 to the minus 8, and this is acting as conductor. Silver, copper, aluminium, gold, all are conductor. Now when this resistivity range is between 10 to the minus 5 to 10 to the power 2, it is acting as a semiconductor like carbon, germanium, silicon. And when this resistivity value is very high, 10 to the power 10, 10 to the power 11, 10 to the power 12, those are acting as insulator. Okay. So resistivity small means very low means conductor, moderate semiconductor, very high acting as insulator. Examples are paper, mica, glass, Teflon. Okay. Now resistance. Resistors used in electrical circuit are usually made from metallic alloys and carbon compounds. The circuit symbol for resistor is shown in this figure. So this is the symbol of circuit symbol of resistor, or where R stands for resistance of the resistor. Okay. Now the resistor is the passive element. it dissipates energy as heat. The relationship between current and voltage for a resistor is best defined by what is known as Ohm's law. We already have studied about Ohm's law. Now, in 1827, George Simon Ohm discovered that at constant temperature for a constant length and area, current in a resistor or a conductor varies in direct proportion to the voltage applied to it and is inversely proportional to the resistor value. Mathematically, we can write as I directly proportional to V, so I equal to V indirectly proportional to R, so I equal to V by R. So what we can write, V equal to IR. So mathematical expression of Ohm's law is V equal to IR or I equal to V by R. Here I is the current in amperes, V is potential difference or voltage in volts, R is resistance, unit is ohm. Resistance of any circuit element denotes its ability to resist the flow of electric current and it is measured in ohms. We apply Ohm's law, we have to pay careful attention to the current direction and voltage polarity. Okay. Now let us take that example. Now direction of current and polarity of voltage must conform with passive sign convention as shown in the figure. In the figure what we can see, current is flowing through this resistor and current is flowing from the top to bottom. So top should be positive and bottom should be negative. So current is flowing from positive to negative. Okay, that means V equal to IR. Now if we reverse the polarity, then this is plus, this is minus, then also you can find out V equal to minus of IR because the polarity of voltage is opposite to current flow. Then you have to put V equal to minus IR. Okay. Now since the value of R value can be any range from 0 to infinity, it is important that we consider the two extreme possible values of R. Now here it comes the concept of short circuit, which is very important concept of short circuit, and another is the concept of open circuit. Short circuit means what? Element with R. This is a circuit. Here is we have say linear bilateral network. Okay, and when R equal to 0, R equal to 0 is called short circuit. Okay, so here resistance R equal to 0. R equal to 0 means it is simply shorted. Shorted means it is connected by connecting wires, not by resistance. Resistance value equal to 0. Now, if that is R, if R equal to 0, what is the value of voltage drop across that particular point? Across the points, that is I into R. R equal to 0 means voltage drop also 0. So it shows that voltage is 0, but what is the value of current? Current could be anything, right? This is shorted, so current can be anything. As the resistance value equal to 0, short circuited, voltage drop is also 0 as V equal to IR according to Ohm's law. Now in practice, a short circuit is usually a connecting wire assumed to be a perfect conductor. Thus a short circuit is a circuit element with resistance approaching 0. Now the concept of open circuit. Open circuit means in this figure what you can see, open circuit means the resistance value is nothing but infinity. That means it is open circuit. That time what happens? Current is 0. So to flow the current, there must be a closed loop, but there is no connection. So current value is equal to 0. Now for an open circuit, what we can write? I equal to V by R. If R tends to infinity, then V by infinity is nothing but 0. So current is 0. So what we have learned for short circuit case, voltage is 0, current could be anything, right? And for open circuit, current is 0, we may have some voltage drop across that element. Okay. So this is the two concept that you have to remember: short circuit and open circuit. Now some points about resistors. A resistor is available either as fixed or variable. Most of the resistors are of fixed type. In previous case what you have seen, this is a fixed resistor, okay, symbol, and this is the symbol of variable resistor. This arrow means a variable resistor. Okay, and there is another, the common variable resistor known as potentiometer or pot is available. Now here we have three terminal, and this terminal will vary from top to bottom. According to that, resistance value changes. Okay, this is the sliding the wiper. Now, not all resistors obey Ohm's law. That you have to remember. Those follows the Ohm's law. It's called linear resistors. There are many nonlinear resistors are also available that does not obey Ohm's law. An example of devices with nonlinear resistance are light bulb and diode, and transistor also you can say. Now, next point is conductance. This is an useful quantity in circuit analysis. Is the reciprocal of resistance R. So is known as conductance. So G equal to what? 1 by R, or what we can write I by V. Okay. Now conductance is measure of how well an element will conduct current. Resistance is opposing current, and conductance means how well it conducts. Okay. How well the material conducts current. Now SI unit of conductance is Siemens. So 1 Siemens equal to 1 ampere by 1 volt. 1 Siemens equal to 1 ampere by 1 volt. Now, power dissipated by resistor can be expressed in terms of R and G both. Now, P, as we know from first and second lecture, P equal to V into I. If we put V equal to IR, that becomes I into I R, that is I square R. If we put I equal to V by R, then it becomes V square by R. Similarly, P equal to VI. Now, if we put V equal to I by G, it becomes I square by G. And if we put I equal to GV, I equal to G into V, it becomes V square G. Okay. Now see here, I square by G, because R equal to 1 by G, and V square by R, that means 1 by R equal to G, so V square G. Okay. Power in resistor is nonlinear function of either current or voltage. This is the most important point you have to remember. Since R and G are positive, power in resistor is always positive. That means it is passive element. Okay. Now let us take a simple problem. Suppose an electric iron draws 2 ampere at 120 volt. Find its resistance. So here what you have to do is we have to apply Ohm's law. Simply applying Ohm's law, R equal to V by I. V is given, I is given. So resistance value we can calculate. So this is the first technique. That is Ohm's law is the first one. Next we have KCL, KVL, then current division rule, voltage division rule, all those points are coming into picture. Okay. Now problem 2. In the circuit shown, we have to find out current I. Okay. So now this, in this circuit what we can see, this is one element, circuit element, second circuit element. How they are connected? We can say they are connected in series because there is no other path, or we can say these two branches are in parallel, right? So 30 volt and 5 kilo ohm resistor connected in parallel. Then what happens? The voltage drop across this resistor is equal to 30 volt because of the parallel connection, because the resistor and voltage source both are connected to same pair of terminal. Okay, this is a parallel connection. So and in parallel circuit voltage are same. So now I will be equal to what? This V is equal to 30 volt. So I equal to V by R. So V by R, if you calculate 6 and 6 milliampere. Why milliampere? This is 5 kilo ohm. Kilo in denominator. If you take that in numerator, it becomes kilo to milli, because kilo means 10 to the power 3, milli means 10 to the power minus 3. So 6 milliampere. Value of conductance 1 by R, that will be 0.2 milli Siemens, and P equal to VI, so you can calculate as 180 milliwatt. Okay. So this is the simple way we can solve. Now some terminology you have to know, that is nodes, branches and loops. Now elements of an electrical circuit can be interconnected in several ways. Okay. To do so, we must understand the basic concept of network topology. What is the difference between network and circuit? Principally for this course, the term network and circuit is we have to make as same. Though network is the interconnection of elements and devices, but circuit is a network providing of one or more closed paths for current flow. So very circuit is at low level where there is so many loops where current is flowing, closed path, and network is high level abstraction where we can have many connection. Okay. Now the convention when addressing network topology is to use the word network rather than circuit for network topology. In network topology, we study properties relating to the placement of elements in the network and geometric configuration of the network. Okay. Now let us take an example. This is a circuit. Okay. Now here what we can see, we have the voltage source, we have three resistors and a current source. And these voltage and current sources are what type? Ideal independent, because the symbol is circle, so it is independent and there is no internal resistance as such is showing here, so we can say ideal. Now branch represents any two terminal active or passive circuit element. Now this voltage source current source is active element, it has two terminal. Terminal means this is one terminal, this is another terminal, to which we can connect other circuit element. Okay. So we have now the circuit in figure has five branches. So this is one active element, second active element, three passive elements, so total five. So five branches. Okay, branch means the circuit element. Two terminal active or passive circuit element. Those are the branch. How branches are connected? Now here what we can see, that the same circuit I am reproducing here. So a node, so branch is the nothing but two terminal active or passive circuit element. Now here what we can see, that this point is not a branch. This is not a branch. This is just a simple connecting wire. There is no circuit element. So this is not a branch. These two are not a branch. Okay. And node is the point where two or more branches are connected. That means this is active element, passive element, two branches are connected at this point. So this point A is a node. Again, you can see this resistor, 2 ohm resistor, 3 ohm resistor, 2 ampere and current source. These four branches are connected to a common point which is called node B. Now in between these 2 points there is no element, only connecting wire. So these 3 points we can consider as a single node as B. Similarly here these four branches connected at a single point and in between there is no circuit element. So these all together we can consider as a node C. So these are connected by connecting wires. Okay, so in this circuit we have three nodes A, B, C. Okay. Now a loop is any closed path in a circuit where no node appears twice. Okay. So branch is two terminal active or passive element, node where branches are connected together, and is loop is the any closed path in a circuit no where no node appears twice. That means say you can start from A, B, and you can C and you can reach to A. This can be one loop. Again A, B, C. This can be another loop. Again A, B, C. This can be another loop. So you can have 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3 loops are there in this circuit. Okay. So main point is there should be a closed path. A loop is formed by starting at a node, passing through set of nodes and returning to the starting node without passing through any node more than once, except the first and finish node. Both are the same. A loop is said to be independent if it contains at least one branch which is not part of any other independent loop. So now let us take example of this. Now these two circuits are same if you carefully observe. Okay, now here what we can see that this A, B, 5 ohm resistor, 2 ohm resistor and 10 volt. This is one loop. Okay. Then we can say this is current source and 3 ohm resistor is another loop. Now these two loop is independent of each other. How? Because there is no common branch. Okay. This is the first independent loop, second independent loop. Now we can take another loop which is this one, that is with using 2 ohm and 3 ohm resistor, another loop. Now this is 2 ohm resistor is common factor for the first independent loop, 3 ohm resistor is common factor for second independent loop. Now what is mesh? Okay, so mesh is a loop where no closed path exists inside it. That means, say if we consider A from here to this outer loop, this is the mesh or not? This is not a mesh because this mesh has two other loops, this A, B, 3 ohm resistor and then voltage source. Again A, B, 2 ohm resistor and voltage source. So this has two loops inside. Okay, so this is not a this total from A to B, A 5 ohm resistor, current source and again come to close to the voltage source. This as a whole is not a mesh because it contains two more loops. Okay, so circuit in figure has three meshes. Now look at same circuit. Now here we can see three meshes. How? This is one mesh, 10 volt, 5 ohm, 2 ohm resistor. One mesh. Again, this is another loop or mesh. Okay, and this is another mesh. So it has total three mesh. Now this mesh, inside that there is no any other loop. We cannot take a B, 5 ohm resistor, 3 ohm resistor and then voltage source as a whole. This one we cannot take as a mesh. Why? Because it contains another loop inside. But if we take this one, it doesn't have any loop here. If you take this loop, this is again mesh, doesn't have any loop inside, and this one. So this is the mesh. So mesh is nothing but a loop where no closed path exists inside it. That is the main point. Okay. So now let us move to Kirchhoff's laws. So Ohm's law by itself is not sufficient to analyze every circuit. Every circuit means linear circuit, okay, linear bilateral network. However, coupled with Kirchhoff's law, it does provide a powerful set of tools for analyzing a large variety of electrical circuit. Now, Kirchhoff's laws are formally known as Kirchhoff's current law and Kirchhoff's voltage law. So, Kirchhoff's law has two laws. One is Kirchhoff's current law and Kirchhoff's voltage law. Now, Kirchhoff's first law is based on the law of conservation of charge, which requires that the algebraic sum of charges within a system cannot change. So Kirchhoff's law states that algebraic sum of all currents entering a node is zero. Okay. So summation of current at a node equal to zero. Now let us take the example. Say we have say this is a node where say these five branches are connected together. I1 is entering, I2 leaving, I3 entering into that node, I4 also entering, I5 is also leaving the node. So what we have I1, I4, I3 entering, I2, I5 leaving. So according to KCL, what we can write, summation equal to 0. That means I1 plus minus I2 plus I3 plus I4 minus I5. If we consider entering as positive, we have to consider leaving as negative, and then summation becomes 0. Or we can write sum of entering current equal to sum of leaving current. So entering is I1, I3, I4. So I1 plus I3 plus I4 equal to entering current equal to what? Leaving current, I2 plus I5. Now if you take side change, if you take this I2 and I5 to left hand side, that becomes minus, equal to, here it will be 0. So it becomes I1 minus I2 plus I3 plus I4 minus I5 equal to 0. So it gives the previous expression. So at any node, algebraic sum of current equal to 0, or you can say the sum of algebraic sum of entering current equal to sum of leaving current at any node. Node is what? Where two or more branches are connected together. So Kirchhoff's law, for example, let us take, this is a circuit. We have I1, I2, I3. Now here what happened? I1 is upward, I2 is downward, I3 is upward, and IT is showing going this way. That means what? IT equal to what? I1, okay, I3, both are entering, I2 is leaving. So what we can write? IT equal to I1 minus I3 plus I3 minus I2 plus I3. So I1 entering positive, I3 positive, and I2 leaving, so negative. Okay. Now Kirchhoff's voltage law. Kirchhoff's voltage law is the second Kirchhoff's law that is based on principle of conservation of energy. Kirchhoff's current law is laws of conservation of charge, and Kirchhoff's voltage law is based on principle of conservation of energy. Kirchhoff's voltage law states that algebraic sum of all voltages around a closed path or loop is 0. That means mathematically we can write summation of voltages, algebraic sum of voltages is equal to 0. In that case, we can have passive resistances, passive and active sources also. Okay. So now let us consider the circuit shown in figure. Now here we can see that voltage source, resistance, again voltage source, another element which absorb, which has some voltage drop. Okay. Now there are two ways that there to write this voltage equation. Okay. So KVL equation around the loop. KCL at any particular node, current value, summation equal to 0. But KVL means at a loop, summation of voltage drop equal, or voltage rise equal to 0. So now here what we are doing is we are taking a clockwise direction of movement. Now this, if we move clockwise, what will happen? We will encounter minus. So minus V1. If we go here clockwise, we encounter plus V2, then plus V3, then minus V4, then again plus V5. That is equal to 0. You can rearrange that. So V3 plus V2 plus V5 equal to V1 plus V4. Okay. So here what we are doing, we are, when we are, I mean, the direction, we are considering the direction clockwise, and when we encountered the minus or plus polarity, that we are writing here. Now we can do some opposite manner also. That means here we can say that here in this way, minus to plus, so voltage is rising, so plus. Okay, so we can write as V1. Okay, then plus to minus, so voltage drop, V1 minus V2, again plus to minus, voltage drop, minus V3 minus to plus, so again plus, so V1 minus V2 minus V3 plus V4, again plus to minus, so drop. That means what we can write, V1 plus V4 minus V2 minus V3 minus V3 equal to 0. That means V1 plus V4 equal to these three minus term we can take left hand side or left hand side. So what you can get, V2 plus V3 plus V5. So both the result gives you the same result. But we have to be conscious, we have to think that which way we have to proceed. That is the main thing. Okay, you can go for encounter minus first in the direction, again plus plus minus plus, or we are going minus 2 plus, plus 2 minus, plus 2 minus. Minus 2 plus means positive, plus 2 minus means negative. So that is your choice. I will try to follow both in problems. Okay. Now sum of drops is equal to sum of voltage rise in case of KVL. Okay. Now here you can say that here what happens if we apply a KVL. Now plus Vs equal to what? So if you consider the clockwise direction, minus to plus, so that is Vs plus, then minus to plus, that means voltage rise, plus to minus, plus to minus, plus to minus, plus to minus. So these two are Vs minus V1 minus V2 and minus 2 plus, so plus V3. Then Vs equal to what? V1 plus V2 minus V3. Okay. So this is how we have to find out, or we have to write the KVL equation of any loop. So that will be the equivalent voltage of this series. So when voltage in series, that will add up. Okay. In parallel, that will be the same. For current in series, the current value will be the same. In parallel, that will add up or subtracted. So these 2 points you have to remember forever. Now a circuit cannot contain different voltages V1 and V2 in parallel, or KVL is evaluated unless V1 equal to V2. Can two different currents flow simultaneously in a series circuit? No, that is not possible unless I1 equal to I2, otherwise KCL will be violated. So reason behind that is KVL and KCL. Okay. Take out one problem. Say we have to find out V1 and V2 across the circuit of this circuit. Okay. Now, if we apply Ohm's law, now what we have to do is, now we know Ohm's law, KCL, KVL. Now we will apply these three rules and see how to solve the problem. Now applying Ohm's law, what we can say, V1 equal to, say in this circuit current is flowing is I. Now this is total a series circuit, so same current will flow I. So here across this 2 ohm resistor, voltage drop will be 2 into IR, and V2 3 into I. Now here what happened? Writing KVL, what we can write? Minus, it encounters minus plus to minus 20, then plus V1, then minus V2 equal to 0, right? Across the loop. Or else we can write voltage rise, drop, drop, plus minus drop, minus plus rise. Okay. Then what we can, that also you can do. Okay. Now substitute the value V1 and V2 here, and we can find out the value of I, and put the value of I in V1 and V2 equation. You will get the value of V1 and V2. Okay. After some time, after some time, we can find out these voltages directly by applying voltage division rule, because this voltage is divided in these two transistors. Okay. So we can find out like that way also, that we will do later. Now say this is on circuit. Now it has independent source and dependent source also. Now if we apply KVL, what you can write? It encounters minus, then plus, resistor always it is drop, then again plus 2V0, again minus 4, again minus, here it is given minus, so we have to consider minus 6i. Okay. Now V0 is here, and in this circuit where is the V0? V0 is here, V0 is what? Nothing but 6 into I. This I current is flowing through the 6 ohm resistor. So V0 equal to what? Nothing but IR. So I into 6, 6I. So V0 equal to 6 minus 6I. That is the Ohm's law. Okay. Now that we have to put it here. Okay. So now why it is minus V0? Because current here flowing from minus this way, from right hand side to left hand side. Okay, in this way. That means current is flowing from minus to plus. That is not possible. That means it is negative. Current is actually opposite direction. So we have to consider the negatives. That's why it comes negative. Always you have to take care of the current direction with the polarity. Okay. So now we got the equation and you can find out the value of I. Then you can find out value of V0 which is equal to 6I. Okay. Now a third problem. Again we have dependent source also, diamond shaped. Now here what we are doing is, let us apply KCL at node A. What we can write? Current entering, this current is entering 3 ohm 3 ampere current also entering, I0 is leaving. So entering current, this is 3 ampere plus 0.5 I0 equal to I0. Entering current equal to leaving current. From this I0 equal to, we can find out I0. Okay. Now what is the V0? Nothing but 4 into I0, 24 volt. Why it is positive? Because current is flowing from positive to negative terminal. Okay, so it is positive. I is also, there is no problem. Okay, because polarity of the voltage of this source resistance is same as current. Now another problem in this, but we can see that in this circuit we have how many meshes, we how many nodes are there? One node, two, three. Now this is the same node as this. Why? Because there is in between there is no circuit element. Okay. So now say if we apply Ohm's law, what we can write? Now we have taken two loop 1, loop 2. Okay. The loop 1 current is I1. Say this I1 into 8 ohm. 8 ohm. So 8 I1. V2 equal to what? This loop current. This current is I2. So 3 into I2. V3 is what? This current is I3. So I6 into I3. Now application of KCL at node A. What we can write? I1 is entering, I2 and I3 is leaving. So I1 equal to I2 plus I3, or I1 minus I2 minus I3 equal to 0. Okay. Now KVL applied to loop 1. If we apply KVL at loop 1, what we can write? Minus, it encoder minus plus first. So minus 30 volt plus V1 and here plus V2 equal to 0. We know the value of V1 and V2. We can put it here. Okay. Then we can find out I1 with respect to I2. Now we can write KVL at loop 2. Now here what happened? What we can say? Now if we apply KVL here, what we can say? This V2 and V3 is parallel with each other. So V2 equal to V3. So always you have to consider series connection or parallel connection. Then you have to apply KCL or KVL, Ohm's law. All the thing you have to keep in your mind. Now replacing V2 and V3. So in V2 and V3 both are equal. So we get I3 in terms of I2. Okay. Now substituting that value, substituting I1 and I2, I1, I3. So and if you solve, you will get I2 value. Okay. Now in this equation, I1 minus I2 minus I3 equal to 0. So I1 minus I2 minus I3 equal to 0. Solve it, we will get I2. Because I1 we got it in terms of I2, I3 we got it in terms of I2. So we got I2. Then we can find out using the value of I2, we can find out I1 V1, V2, all these parameters. Okay. Now, series resistors and voltage division. Now, series resistor means whenever the resistances are connected series, we simply add. Okay, that means equivalent resistance should be R1 plus R2 plus R3, R1 plus R2 plus R3. That is the series resistance. For parallel, what you have to do is 1 by R equivalent or total resistance equal to 1 by R1 plus 1 by R2 plus 1 by R3, like that way. That means if it is only 2 resistor, what you can write here, it is R1 into R2, denominator, numerator R1 plus R2. So this is 1 by R total. So R total will be what? Nothing but R1 into R2 divided by R1 plus R2. Now this is the two resistors in parallel. Then what will happen? So R1 into R2 divided by R1 plus R2. Two resistors in parallel with same value. That means it is R into R square by 2R, that will be R by 2. So whenever two resistors in parallel, effective resistance will be half of that. If one resistance is R1, another is R2, then that is R1 into R2 divided by R1 plus R2. If that is in parallel to another resistor, then again you have to apply the formula. So resistors is parallel. If two resistors is parallel, then the formula is R1 into R2 divided by R1 plus R2. Okay. Now voltage divider circuit. Suppose we have a two resistors R1 and R2. Across that the voltage is V in. Then what will be the voltage across R2? Okay. That is simple way we can remember that. That is V out. That is the voltage across R2. That is equals to the total voltage that is applying into same branch resistance, that is R2, divided by total branch resistance, that is R1 plus R2. Okay. Now similarly, what is the voltage drop across R1? Then what we can write? VR1, voltage drop across R1, voltage drop across R1, that is equal to input voltage V in or total voltage divided into same branch resistance across which you have to find out the voltage. That is R1 divided by R1 plus R2. So this formula you have to remember. Okay. So that we can apply here. So say we have to find out voltage drop across, say, VAB. AB means across R3. Total voltage is 10. So total voltage into same branch resistance, so across R3. So R3 divided by total branch resistance. Okay. Then we get the voltage drop across this directly. Now voltage divider circuit, the example. Now without RL connected, RL is not connected. RL is also 50 ohm. Now what is the voltage of across this XY point? That will be 12 volt into 50 divided by 50 plus 50. 12 volt into 50 divided by 50 by 50, 6 volt. Now if this RL is also connected, then what happens? This 50 and 50 will be in parallel. That will become 25. Same resistance. Equivalent resistance in parallel means R by 2, so 25. Then what happened? RXY becomes 25. So voltage becomes what? Total voltage into R2 becomes 25 by 50 plus 25. Previously it was R2 is 50. Now because of this parallel combination it becomes 25. So voltage drop reduces because the effective resistance reduces 50 to 25. Okay. Now current divider. Now current divider means always in parallel. Okay. And the formula that what we can say, that is total current into other branch resistance divided by total branch resistance. This is applicable for two branch. Okay. Total other branch resistance divided by total branch resistance. That means suppose you have to find out IR1, then what will total current IT into other branch resistance, that is R2 divided by total branch R1 plus R2. IR2 will be equal to what? Nothing but total current IT into other branch resistance, that is R1 divided by total branch resistance R1 plus R2. Okay. Now how we are getting this? That is, you can follow the formula later on. So this is how we can make. So how we can remember for voltage divider rule, you have to consider same branch resistance divided by total branch. Multiply factor is total voltage. current divider rule, other branch resistance by total branch resistance into the total current. Okay. Now say to find out equivalent resistance, say between these 2 points, what is the equivalent resistance? So what we can see that this 5 ohm and this 1 ohm resistance in series, right? Then it divides, right? So these 5 and 6 in series means we have to add, so 5 plus 6, 1, 6, parallel with these two, these two in series, and here what happened? 6 and 3 parallel in series with 2. So 6 and 3 in parallel in series with 2. So this is the this part. Okay, this third second bracket. This second bracket is this part. Now this part is parallel with this part. Okay, then series with this 4 and 8. Okay, another example, these two in series, then 4 ohm that will be in parallel with that because current is divided. Now this will in series with these 5 and 1 in series with parallel with 4 and 12 ohm resistor. Then it is series with 1 ohm. Then it is parallel with 6 and 3. Then series with 10. So that you can see here. Okay. Now find say I0 and V0 of this circuit. Now how we can solve? We can take like these two parallel. So we can take apply the parallel resistance formula, R1 into R2 divided by R1 plus R2. So 18 divided by 9, 2 ohm, right? So you can find out directly the value of I, nothing but V by total resistance, that is 2 ampere, and voltage drop across this V0 will be 4 volt. Now this 4 volt and this 4 volt is same. Why? Because these two are in parallel circuit. Okay. Now we can apply voltage division rule also, right? That means this is your 12 volt is applying here without finding out current and multiply with resistance. You can directly apply voltage division rule as 12 volt into same branch resistance 2 divided by total branch resistance 6. So 2 by 2 plus 4, 6, that is 4 volt. So here also 4 volt, here also 4 volt. And you can apply now Ohm's law, I equal to what? Nothing but 4 by 3. This you have to find out I0. This is after conversion of this. Now this I0 equal to what? Nothing but voltage drop across this, that is 4 volt divided by 3 ohm. Okay. Now we can apply current division to verify the answer. How? This total current I is 2 ampere, right? Now this is your 2 ampere current, right? 2 ampere current divided in two parts. You have to find out I0. So I0 will be equal to what? Other branch resistance, that is 6 divided by total branch resistance 6 plus 3 into I, that will be 4 by 3, that is 4 by 3 already you got. And power dissipated across the resistor, that will be V in V0 into I0. If you multiply you will get the result. So we can apply Kirchhoff's law, voltage law across the loop, KCL at any node, then voltage divider rule, current divider rule, and Ohm's law to solve simple type of linear bilateral circuit. Okay. In next class or in next lecture, we'll we'll going to study about we'll be going to study about some technique that is called nodal analysis to find out the current and voltage drop across any element or current through any element in details. Okay, some other technique where we have to apply the concept of Ohm's law, current KCL, KVL, current divider rule, and voltage divider rule. Try to practice all those. Thank you so much.